Okay, next topic. We're known here at Fractured Focus for our timely reviews. And Resident Evil 7 came out probably minutes ago. I don't remember the exact date.
We had to bribe a guy at Best Buy to get an early copy.
Yeah, we got it out early. I haven't looked on the internet. I'm not sure if anyone's gotten any reviews out. If there's still embargoes that we might be breaking, I don't know. But here in April of 2017,
you're gonna be asking for it back.
Dan has finally jumped into Resident Evil 7. I haven't played any of that type of stuff, played the game at all, but I did watch him play a lot of it. I thought it was freaky as hell, but Dan, you're the one that played it from start to finish almost twice.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us. Definitive, awesome, prune juice, what?
You know, we don't throw around prune juice easily.
That's true.
So I'm not going to go out on the limb here for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that really great that they kind of went back to the horror roots with this thing.
Freaky.
My God, it is. It's there's a bit of a transition towards, you know, once you get like most of the way through the game, it does kind of revert back to the horror. The shock horror isn't as much there anymore. It's more about, you know, ammo management and trying to mow down a bunch of monsters. But
yeah.
the very first scene, you know, in this game, it just freaky as hell. And to kind of frame it,
are we doing spoilers?
We are doing spoilers.
Okay,
yeah,
spoiler review.
Spoiler.
So
I want to be spoiled.
Yeah,
it's April 7th,
yeah,
2017. If you haven't played through this game and you want a non-spoiler review, there are plenty of places to go check out. But we're going to be taking off the gloves.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So all right, floodgates open. Basic premise of the game: you have your name's Ethan. You have a girlfriend, or I'm sorry, a wife that's been missing now for 3 years. You get some kind of vague message from her saying that, hey, I'm here in Louisiana, and the entire game revolves around you going to this house in Louisiana out in the bayou and just having the nastiest shit happen to you. The survival horror
nasty
is
goat or nasty
not
bad?
sex stuff, Matt.
yeah.
Not
Yeah,
sex stuff.
nasty goat.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm counting down in my head.
say,
3, 2, 1, cue it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I was thinking nasty can be good too.
Yeah. There were points in this game where you know where the shocks are going to be coming from, and it doesn't help.
Yeah,
that does not help knowing that this is going to happen in the next like 5 seconds. Yeah,
I remember coming to the room at some point, and you're like,
Different shock. I'm sorry.
he's
it's one of your many weapons.
I remember coming in the room at one point, and Dan's already been killed by something. I don't remember what it was.
Times.
Yeah, several times. So he already knows like a scare is coming at him, but it's still
It
freaking
still
every time.
Just makes you jump.
Which is amazing that they're able to do this.
Yeah, but and just the horror that you have to, like, within the first 10 minutes of the game, you've lost a hand. All right, you have had.
So you're like Ash?
You are, yeah. Well, surprisingly not,
Kind of.
because
Similar to the way it comes off, though.
yeah, you have an angry spouse coming at you with a chainsaw after she just drilled a screwdriver into your hand against the wall. Your defensive maneuver does not help. She goes right through it. They are nice enough to let you pick it up and you put it in your inventory, so you can actually just pick it.
Nice.
Yeah, you can
nice.
look around it. You can get like 3D view of it.
You got ice on it too? Or?
It was
No.
They do put it back on with staples.
Yeah.
But again, like the early part of the game, which is all survival. You know, you're like a regular guy here. You're not armed with anything, and
It's not like special ops or
The
anything like
first
some of the other
person
games.
perspective adds a lot to it.
That's a big point too. Like right away, one of the first things you see is you're being chased around by an angry dad in a Louisiana mansion with what can only be described as a rake covered with barbed wire. With you can't kill this guy, and he's coming around corners and. You have to get through the hallway regardless.
Is this like the slow Michael walk?
No,
Halloween,
he's a
or
fully
is he
functioning
running?
individual. And he can break through walls.
But you do see him walking through the hallway slow, which is still freaky.
You can also hear him walking through the hallways. So, the mechanics in the game are never you're not so agile that you can just jump away or just kind of turn tail and run and get away. Like if you're within a couple feet of something, chances are it's going to hurt you.
That's an important aspect of the game, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because it's not, when you think first person, you think the mobility of a first person shooter, and I think it's intentionally slowed you down your mobility so it makes you tense that you know you can't just get away, or I can't aim the gun as fast as I would like it to aim when they're walking right at you, which adds to that loss of control and that feeling of tension that keeps pretty much straightforward throughout the whole game.
Oh yeah, the very first thing, and this is like again in the intro stage, you find your wife at the bottom of this crappy muck covered cabin in Louisiana, and she's ultimately looks like she just gets possessed at times, and she just starts coming at you. And the last thing, you're directed to kind of get out through the house through the attic, and right when you start climbing the ladder to get up out of there, she busts through the damn thing with a chainsaw in hand. Again, remember, this is after you've already lost the hand, and she's running around in a room with you just trying to hack away. You're a one-handed dude. You found a gun that's got maybe 7 bullets and 2 clips, and when you have to reload, you can actually see the guy
Use his gimp arm.
trying to keep everything screwed.
Using the stump.
It is not fast.
Christ.
It is not, and you can't. And this whole like you're running in molasses thing. So you can't get away. It's fucking terrifying. Again, I played through that scenario several times, getting killed several times, and every time it's like, all right, this is.
I remember specifically when we had family over, and I was watching one of our cousins play this game, and I can't remember if you were there for it or not, but you remember when he got his arm cut off for the first time? The first thought going through my head is, Dan's going to probably play through this and retry it 30 times before he even moves on to the next part, just to see if he can keep
save the hand. Save the hand.
I was wrong. He only did once, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. But they added like so many just it's a great story that they're telling in this one.
Yeah, there's twists up until the very end that I didn't see coming.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's essentially it kind of boils down to like what we saw in the original ones, where you kind of see, well, in this case it was zombies, and then by the time you get to the end of the game, well, this is why there are zombies. It's a lab with chemical experiments.
There was an outbreak.
Yeah,
and it happened, and then you fought them.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm bad. I shouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
that's basically the Resident Evil
so
games.
it's like the T-virus.
We're not going to tell. Yeah, we don't need to give away
thing.
the ending.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, we can kind of say
not going to tell you.
There is an element to it, and it's just shit that gets in your head.
Is the Umbrella Corporation involved? I just need to know.
Is what involved?
The Umbrella Corporation.
Actually, yeah,
they're in the game.
Are they involved?
They're in the game.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It was cool. Like, you know what? After watching you, it's very linear, obviously, the way it's intended to be. But I don't know how you would do a game like that, open world, obviously, everything.
Yeah,
and I thought it was perfect the way it was done. I have no desire to play it after watching you play through it. And even if you hadn't jumped the horror, just, I don't know. I love Resident Evil 4. I still don't want to play it. I'm really glad I got to watch you play it, though.
So that's another thing I had. So, like, I go back to Resident Evil 4. That as far as for like Resident Evil games, that is the high bar to me, anyway. Are there the puzzles in it? Is there you're having to solve things to get through it?
I mean,
not kind of. There's a lot of like fetch and gather type stuff. A lot of fetch and gather type stuff to do.
That's mostly how 4 was. Go find the emblem so you can play here. I mean, and the shadow thing. I mean, those are basically
but still,
the same.
I'm remembering that one scene where you have to put
yeah, they always have the Resident Evil crank.
You have to turn the lights to be a certain way.
Similar.
So that you can get the bridge to come across.
The quote unquote puzzles you're talking about for, I would say, yeah. I mean, those tropes are in there.
But they're the tropes are there, but they're not. I'd hesitate to really call them puzzles because they're not really something that you're going to be spending. You'd even have to spend like 5 minutes thinking, well, how do you solve the puzzle? Like, no, it's pretty much you have.
It's not like you're gathering clues.
They're kind of, I think,
not really.
They're kind of boiled down to the essence of what the actual puzzles were. Like, I can't remember specifically, but like in some of the Resident Evil games, didn't you have to like kind of find 4 different pieces to put together then to see if you can get the right shadow cast? We're gonna boil that down to the basics of we need to have a shadow that's cast on an object in the right way. You know what I mean? So they're simplified.
But what? Well, I mean, I think even in one of the Resident Evils, you had to kind of go through this thing, and then you had to find a code. And then when you got to a door,
Yeah,
you had to
that
know
stuff's
that
in
was
there.
the door to enter the
Yeah,
code.
but it's not. Yeah,
They're just modernized and simplified so that you get the essence of the fun parts without, I think, extra baggage. I think would be the way to put it. So it's not. It doesn't feel as
like you're not playing a horror game and then just trying to solve like a puzzle.
I'd say they're even because of the way that they're done in a
So there's not like an escape room element to it.
kinda.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
that's different though.
That's what I mean.
Different.
There's
that's less about puzzle. That's more about actually survival horror. And
See, I would say that the puzzle element is boiled down to its essence of the simplicity of you got to figure something out, but then they've added on a psychological layer to a lot of these that makes them okay. It's not just find piece 1, 2, and 3 and put them in slot B. While you're doing that,
get them in slot B before you die.
While you're doing that, we're going to keep you tense and scare the shit out of you while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Which I think made them way better.
One of the nice things about the game is that they've incorporated like this videotape element where you'll find like a VHS tape, and then when you play it, you'll actually play as the person filming the filming the experience. Filming the experience. So like the very beginning, like when you go to this at the very start of the game, when you find this crappy, cabin out in the bayou, you weren't the first one there. There was a film crew of 3 guys that were there not too long ago, and you're playing as Clancy the cameraman going in there with 3 guys. I can tell you how many come out of that thing alive while Clancy is filming, and they're trying to get to this darkened, filthy cabin.
And was a cool technique.
It was, and they do that a couple of different times in different scenarios. You do it another time as you do it a second time as Clancy. He shows up later, and then another time like as your wife as she's trying to escape this crazy bayou mama who's trying to capture her and throw her back into into like a jail cell that they have under their house. So that's like when it's all horror. Like you don't get weapons. You don't get any.
So like some first person Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
There are some references.
Yeah.
Where you could tell they took inspiration from some of that stuff. I'm not going to give that away because I think that you should, if you get a PS4, this is definitely worth at least a rental to play through. Yeah. Get a whole bunch of people together, grab some beers, have a Halloween party or something like that.
Bring the kids; they'll love it.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Right after we watch it.
I was gonna say, if you're already showing them it, this isn't gonna be anything to them, man. They're gonna be like, whatever, this is fake. That's clearly CGI.
Yeah. I showed them Gremlins last year, and like
stupid
30
idea.
minutes into it, I'm like, what in the fuck am I doing? Like, I don't remember being like this.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sorry. Sorry to get off track.
Besides the first player, first person, the first person point of view that you play through the game, and the mobility being constrained a little bit to give you that sense of tension. One of the things that also got me constantly was the game is constantly eerily like dark, where like sometimes you're going through outside and you can tell you're only looking through a flashlight. So it's like you constantly feel alone.
Yeah.
And that whole outside or even inside this dark spooky house with noises.
Oh yeah, the kids
solitude.
The kids' playroom with all of a sudden like you're walking in again, all you have is this dinky little flashlight and you're like 3 rooms into this really dark section of the house and it's a child's playroom, and all of a sudden you hear a rubber ball just kind of bounce. You move your flashlight, you see the ball.
So would you say though that the sound in this game is
the
is
ambient
good?
noises,
I mean, is it like
yeah.
Because I remember that was one of the big things with 4.
That what the sound was. Oh yeah.
The sound, just the way you would hear sound in different places.
Plus, this looks so photo real. The graphics are so photo real, constant 60 frames a second. I mean, it's just like you really feel like you're in there. We were making comments about how, God, remember Resident Evil 1? Static images where you go from room to room. Can you imagine the kid you were back then seeing this and saying like, this can't be like a game. This looks, I mean, not the people, obviously you can tell they're CG, they're being rendered as graphics, but the house is like photo real. It's spooky. Playing this in VR scare the shit out of you.
That's what I was going to ask too. Is I'm like, would you play this in VR?
God, no. Oh man, well I would now because after the second playthrough, there's still some elements that are kind of creepy, but I know that this is a creepy scenario, but I know nothing's going to jump out at me, so I'm just going to move on. But I mean, I had
starting
to
it in VR.
I had to put this game
Jesus.
down when I was just actually playing it, just because I was getting freaked out. I mean, that's how intense it got at times. So
That's spooky. That would
Well,
be.
you played through it quick. I mean, like in a week.
yeah. Well, the first time was
It was pretty straight. I mean, remember there was that he wasn't on the reaction with us for Thrones because he'd been up till 3 in the morning playing the game the night before.
Yeah,
that was a rough day of work.
That's what I was saying. I mean, obviously it's a game that drives you. How many game hours do you think to complete
11
it?
you did. Isn't that what it said, the stats
yeah.
at the end of the first playthrough?
That
Which
sounds about
makes
right.
sense for a good linear playthrough like this. It's pretty much what I was expecting, 11 to 12 hours.
Yep.
Are there side games or anything like that?
They have they have some DLC that you can buy, but which I'm not going to do. But replayability it's kind of there. They have unlockables that you get, you get some stuff for just finishing the game. You get more stuff if you do like speed runs, or if you get there's certain collectibles you can get throughout it too, which it's kind of nice starting off right away with the most powerful handgun in the game.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but
similar to the Resident Evil 4 playthrough. I mean, it's a linear experience.
Well, yeah,
so,
that's what I was wondering. I mean, I know at the end of 4, there were games we could play afterwards. It was 4 different sections, and you had to try to beat them.
I don't remember.
Oh
that.
no, not
And
like
like one of those sections was when the guy came through the wall with the chainsaw.
Oh, yeah, you can play
you're
those
down
as
there and you're
just
playing,
sections
those
again.
mini games or whatever.
Yeah,
they were.
sure. I mean, this is kind of a self-contained linear story, all pretty much within a house. So, I mean, it's not going to have these little section ads. Maybe you could find a couple more things that you missed as collectathon, but I don't know if you'd want to do it just for that. But
It might be cool if they actually came out with some additional content where
they're gonna
Another
They have,
character
what's it
in
called,
the game.
Redfield Chronicles or something, or what was that content that said it's coming out in spring of 2017 at the end with Chris
I
Redfield?
didn't see it.
Remember at the end of the credits it said there's more DLC coming in 2017.
Oh,
With Chris Redfield. Remember him from Resident Evil
other games
1 and 2, I think it was.
and
Because
some of the
4
others,
you're
too.
Leon, right?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, you're Leon.
Yeah.
There's more coming for the game though that you can. I'm sure
Okay,
you'll be
yeah,
able to buy.
I mean,
No,
it would
said
be
free
interesting,
content.
though.
More free content coming in 2017.
I'm down for that.
Well, that'd be cool. No, I was just thinking if you could have it where you could, after you beat it, you could play the story from a different character's point of view.
It's not really framed that way.
More like all of a sudden you're the wife. And
Well,
you're
without
dealing with
spoiling
that
it,
stuff
you
from
do
there.
shift characters from time to time. So.
Yeah, but more of that, like the whole story of the wife.
Oh. I mean,
Even to the point where you're cutting off his hand.
Yeah, as the
that would be fun. That would be kind of cool. Now go play the
to kinda-
batshit
kinda
crazy.
for a lot of
understand
women,
that
that's
whole-
probably going to
yeah.
be cathartic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would that get your wife to play, Matt?
Yeah, no, thank you.
That's cool. So what would you give it as a final review, recommendation, Mr. Gordon?
I would rate it as a buy.
It's cool. And you know what? As much as it might not be great for playthroughs unless you want to change the difficulty level just to get trophies, having friends and family over, it's a great group thing to have everybody
It's
watch.
a definite watcher.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I loved the thing about Resident Evil 4. Before I played it through myself on the Wii, I watched you play it, and it was a fantastic game to just watch.
Right.
Yeah.
Cinematically, sound wise, I thought it was a great game.
Yeah, I played none of this game.
Even though
This
I wasn't
was perfect
playing
for
it,
that.
I just thought it was fun to watch you play. So
This and Until Dawn would make
yeah.
a great Halloween
They are.
weekend on the PlayStation 4 where you just play these horror games because both of those two are masterpieces for what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Until Dawn's great for for a group, because essentially all it is, it's a horror movie and you're actually making the decisions for the
And
character.
you can have so many different endings.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Based on what you decide to do.
Yep. Cool. Well, any final thoughts on Resident Evil 7?
Play it with the lights on.
I'm actually excited to play it.
Yeah. Dude, it would be.
It's
You
a
got to
good
do
one.
some Let's Play reactions or something of that too, because there's some. I still remember watching those scenes over and over, and it still does
Yeah.
make you jump every time. I cannot even imagine that in VR. That'd be fun to watch people reacting to that in VR while they're wearing the headset and they freak the hell out and scream because you can't get out of there.
Yeah,
It's on your head. No matter where you turn, you're not going anywhere. Cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Let us know what you think of Resident Evil 7. Clearly, if you found this video in April of 2017, you just got into it or was looking for another opinion, and now we can converse.
Probably was not a suggestion.
Let us know what you think in the comments below.